So Luke Robinson, Huddersfield Giants, it's fair to say that you will not be losing any sleep that last year passed by.
No, not all. Look, it's to say we're a baptism of fire, I'd probably say is an understatement. It were straight to the lion's den, being the first year coach. There are a lot of stuff that went against us last year, but honestly, I feel like me personally have come out a better coach for it. I also feel like the club's in a lot better state for it as well. I think we managed to get a lot of young lads probably playing last year that probably shouldn't have played and wouldn't have played, but they've had a valuable experience. I think the club as a whole is probably better for it. They've really revamped themselves this year of the club, and there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes after last year. The Giants Unleashed, which has been great. Really trying to drum up some support with the fans and everybody else. So, yeah, they were definitely different last year. But one thing I can say is I think the club and myself and the players were better for it.
Outstanding. And you've got some headaches as well. Let's go there, because the number one battle is going to be fascinating. Let's go there. I mean, Niall, first of all, one of those casualties. You couldn't write it, could you, when Niall went down? Your face in the stands said it all. But of course, that allowed George the opportunity, who's here today. Welcome to coaching. Now you've got some big decisions when they're all fit.
Yeah, look, it's definitely different this year. Already this year I've had to make some really uncomfortable conversations with some senior blokes about not playing this week at Hunslet, and that's what I want to happen. It's them uncomfortable conversations about what didn't happen last year. No fault of anyone's, but the intensity in training, the fighting for a shirt, it just wasn't there. Because pretty much if you could run last year, you were playing. Whereas this year, it's been very different in pre-season. Niall Evans, for example, he's a player that, look, he's an Halifax boy anyway. He's a Siddle boy, same as me. So I've always followed Niall, and I've always had a real appreciation for what he brings Very unfortunate as last year, but he's going to be a key player for us this year. But on the flip side of that, when he did get injured last year, George Flanagan probably played more games than we envisaged he was going to do last year. And it was a little bit of a sink or swim moment for him, and he swam.
Yeah.
And he swam. He didn't only swam, I think he was doing a backstroke. He was that good. He's been a real find for the club as George. We've always had big expectations, but I think even he's blown them away. And he's still learning the game. He's still improving. But after last year's breakout season of the games, we've got to find a way of getting him some games this year. And, well, he's got to find a way of getting in that side and staying in it. And the way he's training at the moment, he's putting his best foot forward.
Well, and that's what you want as a coach. No shirt should be a given. You want people fighting for him. I mean, even your halves, you brought Ollie Russell back. I mean, I remember the 22 season, and Ollie that season, when he got to Wembley, was in incredible form. So Tui and Adam are looking over the shoulder there. Of course, Adam, when he came back last season, you looked a different side, captain this year. So, I mean, it's fair to say that a fully fit Huddersfield Giants team should be in the talk for a top six in 2026. Look,
I've been involved in this game for a very long time. If you don't want to be winning it, I just don't see the point in playing it. It's right, if we're not wanting to win every single week, and we're not wanting to win the Challenge Cup, if you're not wanting to win the Challenge Cup final, if you're not wanting to win the World Club Challenge, and we're playing the wrong sport. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other good sides, and where we are, it's not easy to go from the doghouse to the penthouse. I'll say it that way, in that manner.
Well, you're not in Vegas this year, no?
No. It's not easy to go from the doghouse to the penthouse in one season, but we're quietly confident in the squad we've got. As you said previous, the squad depth. What I didn't have last year is, when Niall did get injured and George was playing, he was still only young, didn't have much experience. He's experienced now. Ollie Russell took us to a Challenge Cup final, and pretty much, we're three or 4 minutes away from winning it.
Yeah.
So we have more strength in depth this year. I still feel like the sides that keep their spine fit and healthy throughout the year have a very good chance of doing well, and that's always been the case. But for us this year, I feel like if we do lose somebody this year, we've got somebody that can step into those shoes and do a good job.
And your spine does look good, doesn't it? Let's be fair. I mean, if you can keep those fit and on the field. Zach Wolford, again, in a season of adversity, there were little, like George being one. I thought Zach in his first year in Super League was exceptional. So there's plenty there to build on. It's all about now keeping them fit, keeping them positive, and hitting the ground running. And you've got a good record at Catalan as well. So as starters for 10 go, not the worst.
Hey, look, we've had a really good record at Catalans, but I don't want to jinx yourself. because they've made some exceptional signings. They've made some really good signings. You know, the squad looks great when you look at it and you go through their squad. But not only that, they've now got a coach who's had a little bit of time to bed in, you know, put his sort of principles in place of how he wants them to play. So I think they're going to be a really difficult proposition. But look, we've had a really good pre-season. We've gone really well. We're in a really good place at the moment. I don't want to look beyond Hunslet, and I don't want to start looking to the Betfred Super League. Obviously, it's something we want to do really well in, but at the same time, you know, before going to the Betfred Super League, we need to make sure we do a job at Hunslet with the Challenge Cup.
Well, I think I don't mind saying this here. I think last year, wrongly, there might have been a couple of vultures circling where you were concerned. I was delighted that the club kept faith with you, because I think you should be judged as a young coach on a team that is fully fit and being given the opportunity of having a fair crack at it. And let's hope this year you do get a fair crack of it. You are one of the most likeable coaches in Super League, I think, Luke. And I think everybody's really hoping that this year you go well, mate. So on behalf of Super League Raw and everybody concerned with my show, we wish you well, mate.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So George Flanagan Jr, your full title.
Yeah.
What a season! What a breakout season you had last year. Are you still pinching yourself on how well it went?
Probably so, yeah. I never thought this time last year when we were starting the games off that I'd be anywhere near, to be honest. But opportunities come around, and I got my chance. And my big thing was just take each week as it comes, because I never know when it's gonna. When I'm ever going to get brought out of the team or into the team. So, I just want to take each week as it comes, and yeah, I enjoyed it so much.
Well, you certainly did that, and some of your tries, you must have enjoyed them.
Oh, I did. I've got to thank Timmy Lolly here for a few of them though, and Kieran Rush for playing that play. We played all the time last year. But I've got to thank all the rest of the team for that.
But some of it was eyes up as well.
Yeah.
That's your game, isn't
that's
it?
That's my style of rugby. Just playing with my eyes up, playing what's ever in front of me, and just playing with freedom.
I mean, look, I want to pull it down a bit, because you're young and we don't want to put unnecessary pressure on you. But it's fair to say you are an emerging talent that could light Super League up for many, many years, internationals, the rest. But you've got it on this year. After last year, let's be honest, last year was a great year.
Yeah.
You've got competition to get into that team. We're going to learn more about you, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's good to have competition, because last year I think I lacked that in training and stuff like that. I got a bit complacent sometimes if I knew I was playing. And I just needed a bit of a kick up the backside, really. And I think that this year will do it. It'll prove a better me, because I'm a competitor. I don't like losing, and I want to get my spot. And I want to every time I play, I just want to put my best foot forward. I just want to be, known as a competitor, known as someone that will never say no, and just get my head stuck in. And I want to be known to that players, to my teammates as well.
I mean, at what point, because you're still young, and we do have a very diverse audience that watch us. So for the young kids that are watching, George, at what point when you were a kid did you realise this is a career for me? I can do this. And how did your mentality change in the sport to become the professional that you are today?
Oh, you've just got to be really, really focused on what you want to do, what you want to achieve. I just took it each step at a time. I wanted to achieve. I wanted to play a scholarship. I wanted to play academy. Then I wanted to play first team. And you've just got to really work hard in training all the time. And that's something no one will ever take it away from me. I just want to work hard. I feel like I'm an hard worker. Put my best foot forward, and yeah.
There feels to be, we're all in this together feel about Huddersfield Giants going into this year. I've seen Ken Davy interviews, Luke really up for it. Hopefully, fingers crossed for you all, injuries are less. As a club, it feels like a really big season this for Huddersfield Giants. Do you as players feel that?
Yeah, we definitely feel that. Ken has come in and spoke to us all, and if someone, I reckon a few of us had played the other day after he showed us a video, a Giants Unleashed. We were all fired up, ready to go then, and we want to prove to everyone in the city of Huddersfield, or the town of Huddersfield, just want to prove to everyone we're good enough to be in this Super League, and we're good enough to be fighting for big games.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and of course, Ken Davy. I mean, even non-Huddersfield fans have got so much respect for Ken Davy, and for a player to have somebody like that at the top of the club Does it make you want to try even harder because he's such a figure in the sport and he's such a nice fella?
Yeah, Ken's massive for this club, and he's the biggest supporter of the Giants. He's such a legend of a bloke. He's such a very nice fella, and he just wants his club to do well so badly. We want to do that for him because he's well respected amongst the lads, well respected around Huddersfield. So he's massive.
Well, on behalf of us all, we hope you all stay fit this year. I think a fit Huddersfield Giants is a competitive Huddersfield Giants. George, go well, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, mate. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, I've interviewed players today, I've interviewed coaches today, but this is a real honour because Ken Davy, Huddersfield Giants, has agreed to talk to us on camera. Ken, I don't know if you know this, but throughout Super League, not just Huddersfield Giants, the respect that rugby league fans have for you and what you do for rugby league in Huddersfield is immeasurable. Do you know that?
Well, not really, and it's very kind of you to say that. I just do what I do, and I love rugby league. I love the Huddersfield Giants, and the thing about rugby league, it's a great game, and the fitness and physique and energy of the players is phenomenal, and it's a great spectacle, and we just want loads more people to come down and watch it because it is such an experience.
We do, and I tell you, this is how well I keep an eye on what you do. I loved your speech. If you're not positive, get out of the club. That was one of the greatest lines in the pre-season. But what you were doing there was laying a marker down. You can have no passengers, you said, and it does feel as if this is a big year for the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, it definitely is. They're all big years, but we've been punching well below our weight, and I really had three options: carry on, going nowhere, get out, or get on, and I opted for the latter. And
thank God.
So we've set our objectives, and certainly we've no room for negativity anywhere in the club. We ought to not have anywhere for negativity in the whole game, frankly. But for the Huddersfield Giants, this is an important year. We want to put some markers down and have a great year and have great fun.
Well, hopefully your injuries are better, because let's be fair, that really hurt you last year. And
it was a nightmare year last year.
Oh, unbelievably so. And we had Luke over earlier. And as the leader of Huddersfield Giants, what was refreshing was that, Luke is still there this year, because there'd be many clubs that would have took it out on the coach, whereas I do think a lot of it was out of his control. You can't legislate for injuries on that scale. Let's pray to God that this year that Luke has as fit a squad as he possibly can, and he shows what his class is as a coach, because he was an incredible player for you, wasn't he?
He was indeed, and I've always admired him and liked him. He's very personable, and so this is his year, and our pre-season has gone well. He very firmly insisted that all the players were back early, no passengers. And whereas last year we had people coming back from their holiday and the break with injuries, people came back in pretty good shape this year, and so pre-season has gone well. We're very encouraged, but we've got to cross the whitewash yet.
Well, absolutely. And a new training complex has been built, hasn't it? Has that been fully open now? Or is it still under
we're well on with it.
Yeah.
We're probably about 6 weeks behind schedule because of changes that were made to the interior, which made a slight delay. But we're on track, and it will be. I'm confident, as confident as you can be with any kind of building, that we shall be up and running with the. At the moment, we're calling it our Centre of Excellence, and should be certainly before the summer, and the earlier the better.
Another legacy in terms of what you're leaving at that great club. And of course, this is your last year, you've said, at the current ground, that you've got ambitions to move on. And I know you've been speaking directly with your supporters about the progress around that. That is a massive move for the club, isn't it? Because as we saw last year when you moved and played Wigan, to have a ground where you can really generate an atmosphere. It made such a difference, didn't it?
Oh, it was chalk and cheese. The atmosphere at that match was unbelievable. Yes, it was a nice day, and yes, we put up a real battle against Wigan, and we only lost in the last 5 seconds. It's heartbreaking to think about it now. Still,
they have a habit of doing that against you, don't they, Ken?
Yeah.
Remember Wembley?
Yeah.
Liam Marshall.
Yeah. We'd been ahead for 78 minutes, but unfortunately, it's an 80-minute game.
Well, I'd say this to Matt Pete's face. You were robbed in that final. Huddersfield were the better team that day, but unfortunately, that's just what Wigan do, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't change history.
You can't, unfortunately.
We're looking very positively to the future. We've got a lot of good things going for us. I'm sure not everything will go right, but we're very encouraged with the pre-season. It's probably the best pre-season that I can recall.
Superb.
And whereas last year there were some occasions where we only had 16 players to choose from. We've got pretty well a full squad. So very exciting.
As am I, because I think a competitive Huddersfield Giants will go really, really well. Just on a side note, through Super League Raw, through what I do, I've met quite a lot of the Cowbell Army. Some very good friends of mine are Huddersfield Giants fans now, and I will be with them for your game against Wakefield at home. So I'm going to be down with some of the Cowbells in the main stand. It'll be lovely to see you when I'm there. Great game that'll be against Wakefield. I know there's games before that, a trip to the south of France, but I'm really looking forward to that game against Wakefield. I think that should be a belter.
We're all looking forward to it. Obviously, Wakefield are an incredibly tough team, but we'll be doing our best to get, let's call it an upset. The thing is to get down there, let's have a great atmosphere and let's enjoy a great day.
Well, I promise I'll sing, Ken. I promise I'll give a song. I might bang a cowbell. Greg will bring a cowbell with him, so I'll do that for you. But look, on behalf of everybody, thanks for what you do for the great game of rugby league. You are absolutely a trailblazer. The passion you have for this great sport of ours through the Huddersfield Giants is immeasurable. I wish you nothing but good health and happiness, and I look forward to seeing you at that Wakefield game.
That's very kind of you, Dave. All the very best.
To you as well.